Known in Japan as Pocket Color block when it first came out in late 1998, this take on the Arkanoid, Breakout, Bat and Baller genre certainly has some interesting ideas to bring to the table, as it were. The aim on each stage, if you somehow don't know, is to fire this ball back and forth, clearing out every destructible brick to then move to the next board. You get 100 levels to work through with infinite continues. The paddle here is a dragon that does actually look very similar to the dancing dragons you'd see at a Chinese New Year celebration or something, and it even kind of moves like that in that segmented way. This is the first quote-unquote innovation to the gameplay. Your paddle doesn't just move from side to side, but can move up and down to a certain extent, affecting the ball's trajectory and speed if you ram into it from behind. This will take a while to get used to, as it's not just the natural angles and where the ball hits the paddle, your movement also gets taken into account. You pretty much always want to move into a shot rather than leaving the dragon stationary, because the segments pile on top of each other when you're not moving, meaning your paddle will actually be too small. I can't think of another Arkanoid clone that does this, where the paddle grows and shrinks based on your movement. You're essentially encouraged to keep moving at all times. With regards to your lives, you don't have a set amount, but rather if you lose a ball, you also lose a segment of your dragon. This doesn't exactly feel fair because losing a ball should be punishment enough. Subsequent lives become harder because of it here. It feels a bit harsh, you know? Another probably too stringent facet of this game is your level timer, a thing I'm not 100% convinced even belongs in a game like this. It's hard enough getting the ball to go where you want it to, but to have to do it to a time limit forces you to rush sometimes and take risks you otherwise wouldn't. If you hit a block with a T on it, a token will fall down that increases your time a little should you catch it, but the real catch here comes with the series of 10 numbers at the bottom left of the screen. You'll notice straight after launching the ball that it moves really slowly. This gauge represents the speed of movement. You can increase this by either collecting the relevant pickup or by pressing select. Yes, you can increase the speed of your ball manually here. Note, you can't decrease it, so be careful not to overextend yourself. You will have to boost it a bit though, because at speed 1, you're simply not fast enough to beat the time limit. Some of the other pickups on offer include an increase to the dragon's power or movement speed, which comes in handy. Also, you're able to unlock special dragon abilities that you can augment your game with. One freezes time, one lets you breathe fire to clear out blocks without even using the ball, another allows you to deflect the ball in mid-flight. There's a bar at the top of the screen that goes up should you manage to break blocks in quick succession. If you manage to fill this, you'll be greeted by this dragon god. This'll do one of two things, either it'll reset your timer to 99, or it'll get rid of all remaining blocks. Every 10 levels, you'll have to fight a boss, and there are random events such as earthquakes. The two-player mode is apparently decent fun and works similar to how Tetris does it. You can't see the opponent's screen, but every 5 seconds, whichever player knocked out the fewest bricks gets a whole row added onto their board. You're racing to clear out your screen, or simply survive longer than the other player. It's a bit of a shame about the graphical design, which is a little unimaginative. It's not bad as such, and at least the collisions are accurate, unlike a certain Super Breakout title I could mention. This makes that title from a few episodes back look even worse, actually. So yeah, lots of little and large innovations, some of which add to the experience, some of which actually kind of subtract from it. I'd say overall it comes across as a positive experience though. The living feel of the dragon paddle takes some getting used to, but you can do it, and once you do, it's not a massive stretch to increase the speed to a point where you can scrape through the time limit. And hey, with infinite continues, there's no way to actually lose the game overall. You can just carry on until you beat a stage or get bored. It's much, much better than Super Breakout, as the programming is properly competent, and the game is, for better or worse, at least inventive and interesting.